Tonight on KGW News, getting rid of graffiti on one of Portland's most historic buildings.
So we're going to do it brick by brick, stone by stone.
Though it gets a little complicated when you're 12 stories up. And also tonight, call it a magnet for crime.
We've had constant vandalism on the vehicles, stolen tires.
As one business owner decides to arm his workers with tasers. Then later, the local program seeing success when it comes to rehab and recovery.
It's been a beautiful thing. Like it's one of a kind for sure.
How spending time on the farm is helping them rebuild their lives. Good evening, and let's get right to breaking news in a police shooting in Vancouver. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. Officers say they killed a suspect in a shootout in the Safeway parking lot on East Mill Plain Boulevard. And within the last few minutes, we got another update. Let's get right to Alma McCarty in Vancouver. Alma, what have you learned?
Well, David, like you said, we just got new information from Vancouver Police, VPD, saying that their neighborhood response team was in the area when they saw a man driving in a car down East Mill Plain Boulevard, who they recognized to be the suspect in several armed robberies. They noticed him then parking his car outside of the Safeway here and then going inside of the store before exiting minutes later. Investigators say that's when this person saw police, dropped his bag of items, showed a gun, and then ran through the parking lot. During all of this, he allegedly fired at officers who fired back at him. 3 Vancouver police officers fired shots, and 1 Clark County Sheriff's deputy fired as well, striking the suspect. That man was pronounced dead at the scene. No officers or deputies were injured. Per standard protocol, the 4 involved were placed on leave. The Lower Columbia Major Crimes Team, led by Cowlitz County investigators, will take over from here, and neither VPD nor the Clark County Sheriff's Office will be involved in this investigation. Now, this afternoon, dozens of officers, troopers, and deputies spent hours at the scene after the shooting. From our vantage point, we saw several evidence markers on the ground in the parking lot right next to shell casings. KGW viewers informed us earlier this evening that they heard several shots fired in this parking lot. It's worth noting that there was another fatal shooting that happened here back in March. Police arrested 2 people connected who opened fire into a car allegedly after a group of men got into a fight. 1 person in that case died and 3 other people were injured. We will keep you updated on this particular case, this deadly shooting here in Vancouver, as we learn more. For now, live in Vancouver, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Thanks, Alma. Just to summarize here, 3 Vancouver police officers, 1 Clark County Sheriff's deputy firing their weapons. The suspect here is dead. Thanks, Alma. Appreciate the follow-up tonight. Tonight, all 7 teenagers who escaped from a juvenile detention center near Seattle are back in custody. 4 of them arrested near an elementary school in Vancouver. Authorities say a family member of one of the teens came home last night and found all 4 in their house. The relative told them to leave and then called 911. The teens were spotted just a few blocks away at Walnut Grove Elementary. A SWAT team surrounded the area and the 4 were taken into custody. Now, during a court appearance today, we learned more about how the 7 escaped by allegedly attacking a staff member.
She was taken by force, brutally beaten, and placed inside a cell where she is not expected to be.
Authorities say the teens then stole that staff member's car. 3 of them were arrested in King County later on Sunday. The car turned up in Vancouver. 2 of the teens were in custody for murder charges. And we're sticking in Vancouver this evening because new tonight, police there are looking for help finding information on an unsolved homicide. Back in 1997, the body of 17-year-old Carl McConnell was found on Divine Road. His case has been active for 26 years with no suspects. Today, we talked to McConnell's younger brother, Matthew, who was also a teenager when his older brother was killed.
But the biggest thing for me is I want my mom to have closure. You know, I couldn't even imagine. As a father myself, I couldn't even imagine losing a child, you know, especially in that fashion. So more than anything for her, I want the closure.
Right now, Crime Stoppers of Oregon is offering a cash reward of up to $2,500 for information on this case. And just a reminder, if you call, you can remain anonymous. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. Fire investigators are working to figure out what caused this blaze early this morning at a Camas senior care facility. Incredible pictures there, but staff got all residents at Ireland Greens out safely. Crew said they had trouble, though, getting the fire under control because the home was down a long drive in a wooded area away from any fire hydrants. The Red Cross is helping the residents find somewhere else to stay. In Lebanon, authorities are looking for the person or people who broke onto a fire station's property and stole several $1,000s worth of equipment. Officials say thieves cut through a security fence at Station 33 in Fairview, then cut the locks on the fire investigation team's trailer and stole tools, lights, and cameras. Anyone with information is asked to call the Lynn County Sheriff's Office. And police have arrested a man they say stole a delivery truck, then ran over the driver. This was in Salem at a McDonald's on Lancaster Drive Northeast. Police say the suspect got into a struggle with the driver, then took off in the truck and hit the 67-year-old. The driver was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect, identified as Eloy Tello, eventually crashed that vehicle and was taken into custody. Tonight, frustration is building for a Northeast Portland business owner who says he's been dealing with rampant crime at his business off Airport Way for months. The situation now becoming so dire, the owner says he's considering moving out of the Rose City. Michael Angelecchio owns Navis Pack and Ship and recently expanded to include U-Haul rentals. He says catalytic converters have been stolen off his company's trucks. And just this week, another case of somebody siphoning gas out of a U-Haul. When he parks his trucks inside his warehouse at night, thieves, he says, have tried to knock down the garage door. All in, Angelecchio estimates thieves have cost his business upwards of $25,000.
We're trying to exhaust all of our options. I was born and raised in Portland. I still have a love for this city. I think there are lots of great people here, but something has to change. It's a lot for a small business operating on small margins.
Angelecchio says people have also run into his warehouse when the garage doors are open to try to steal tools. He has now given his workers tasers. Well, let's talk about graffiti now, an iconic Portland building that taggers have turned into a big mess. This is the Jackson Tower. It overlooks Pioneer Courthouse Square. The windows, the facade, even the clock face itself, you name it, covered. And as Joe Ranieri reports, while a cleanup years in the making will not be easy, is finally getting done.
The Jackson Tower building, with its iconic clock tower and glazed tiling, is one of the most historic buildings in downtown.
So we're gonna do it brick by brick, stone by stone.
And now it's getting cleaned up, thanks to these guys. This building has been getting hit by vandals spraying it with graffiti for the last couple of years. Now, Paul Watts, owner of Graffiti Removal Services, who was hired by the city of Portland, is responsible for cleaning it up.
The longer it stays up, more tagging will appear after that. You know, if you don't take care of one piece of graffiti, another one appears, another one appears.
And it's a job.
I'm not a seasoned pro at climbing, but that's why we hired a professional company to harness me off.
That's not an easy task.
Got it.
Especially as the city sees more complaints about graffiti. In 2020, they received just under 900 complaints. In 2021, more than 2,100. It jumped to over 5,000 last year. And so far this year, closing in on 2,200 complaints. There you go. After he's strapped in, Watts has to then climb out onto the ledge to start scrubbing.
Which is a biodegradable, non-toxic product. We spray it on there. It'll actually dissolve the layer of spray can, ink pen marker, or Sharpie marker, dissolve it, and then we just wipe it off.
In some parts of the building, the job is a little easier, where they just have to put on a fresh coat of paint. But how does someone climb 140 feet and do something like this? The Jackson Tower in downtown Portland is 12 stories high, and if you're wondering, how do the taggers get up this high? Well, they use the fire escape.
They'll put a grappling hook up there, and they'll pull it down with a grappling hook, and that counterweight will come down, and it'll give them the ladder, and then they just scurry up the ladder.
But it'll soon be almost impossible to try to scale the building.
Another contractor is coming out and kind of barricading off some areas, removing some areas so the taggers, or scratchers they call them, cannot get back up onto the building, hopefully.
As Watts and his crew scrubs tirelessly,
sometimes we feel like we're chasing our tail, but we know we're doing a good thing also.
he knows his hard work will pay off in the end. In downtown Portland, Joe Ranieri, KGW News.